the most important guest we'll ever have on In the Life.
In the life.
In the Life.
In the life.
How did we get a hold of him?
Well, that's a really long story.
Is it? We won't
It's a
go
really
into
long
it then.
story.
But I know Bruce Vilanch, like avalanche. He was born in New York City. He's the great American comedy writer, songwriter, and actor. He's best known for his 4 years on Hollywood Squares and the head writer for the show. Money, 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 money. In 2000, he performed off-Broadway in his self-penned one-man show, Bruce Vilanch, Almost Famous. Love the title. From 2000 to 2014, he was the head writer for the Oscars, having been an Oscar program co-writer for the previous 10 years. Can you believe that? Writing for the Oscars? Wow. He is featured writer for the Tonys, Grammys, and the Emmys. Doesn't that make him an EGOT?
It's like a triple threat there.
He's like a goat.
I love it. And he's with us today.
Let's introduce him.
Yay!
Bruce.
Here he is.
There he is.
Live in color. Sure, Jan.
Oh my goodness. We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you. This is a Brady Bunch homage. I also wrote the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, which, of course, we never speak of.
We don't.
No, but it's in my book, which I'll plug relentlessly as the show goes on.
We're going to plug your book in a minute. But you have worked with Bette Midler, Donnie and Marie Osmond, Lily Tomlin, Billy Crystal, Roseanne Barr, Rosie O'Donnell, Paul Reiser, Elizabeth Taylor, Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, Robin Williams, Barbara Streisand, Diana Ross. Out of that whole lineup, who's your favorite person to work with?
Well, if I didn't say Bette Midler, I would have my knees broken. I mean, you know. I mean, we've been together, working together for 50 years.
She's terrific.
I love it.
We are, yeah. It would, I mean, I'm fond of them all, but you know, Bette it all started with her.
It did. It really did. Were you back at the Baz when she was discovered?
Yeah, I saw them. I
New York
actually
City?
met her after that when she came to Chicago to Mr. Kelly's, a famous club that when there was a nightclub circuit. She came and she played there, and I was a reporter for the Chicago Tribune. And
You're a reporter too.
I was a feature writer. You know,
Wow.
I wasn't a hard. They didn't trust me with fact. You know, hard news was not my go-to.
But your acting career with Diana Ross as a dress manufacturer.
Yes,
What can you say about
Mahogany. That was in Mahogany.
That's Mahogany.
A classic.
I love it.
Breathless with Richard Gere.
Yeah, true. I'm mugged in a men's room by Richard Gere.
Ooh, he's so
I think
hot.
I may be the only person who can actually say that.
He's a
I
nice
mean, not
guy.
because there are a lot of others, but and I'm the only one who can actually say it. The only one who can say it. But I was mugged. Yeah, and he steals my locket.
Where was it hanging from?
It was around my neck. It's
Okay.
a beating heart, and he gives it, and he wears it the rest of the movie, I think, or he gives it to the girl, and she wears it. Or,
That's cute.
yeah, something like that. But it was. I thought it was. Friends of mine made it. Jim McBride, who was a director who was married to Karen Black.
Okay.
And we were all friends. And he was doing a remake of Breathless and wanted me in it. So I did that one scene. And then some years later, I met Andy Warhol, and he said, "You were in Breathless."
Loved Andy.
I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You're a genius." That was brilliant. And I thought to myself, I got mugged in a men's room by Richard Gere.
And now Andy Warhol.
Now Andy Warhol says I'm a genius. So
The Ice Pirates.
no.
The Ice Pirates with Robert Urich.
yeah,
How was that? Urich.
Uric, like a disease you have
an
in
ulcer.
your. Robert, we joke. He's gone. He
Got an
passed.
Urich in my ear.
He was fabulous. That is it. Also in the book. It's a classic.
Last but not least, don't mess with the Zohan with Adam Sandler,
True.
my favorite man alive.
That's true. That's where George Takei and I are a couple.
Okay.
And we're in the last scene of the movie. But it gets mentioned by kids, like young guys who saw the movie say, "Oh man, you were in Zohan." It's the last scene in the movie. It
How
was
is
a
he to work
reshoot.
with Adam?
He was wonderful. He was.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a very sweet guy, and in fact, it was a reshoot he didn't like the ending, so he wrote a new ending, and it was me and George in an apartment in Greenwich Village. And it's a sight gag, but we wind up on a couch, and between us is Dave Matthews,
Nice.
who was playing a white supremacist.
Not nice.
And who by accident lands in the apartment of these two old queens in Greenwich Village.
Hilarious.
And so we shot this, and Adam was shooting another picture called Bedtime Stories, and he had broken his leg, and so he was off camera, in a cast, reclining, and trying not to laugh because it was ridiculous, because the scene also involved a dozen beagle puppies. It's worth seeing the movie just for that.
It's time
and
to
Lainey
rewatch.
Kazan's rear end. Because,
love it.
Oh, my
but
God.
Then she told me it was a double. She said, "Would I show my tuchus for that money?"
That's hilarious. Let me talk about your awards. Vilanch has won 2 consecutive Emmy Awards for his writing of the Academy Awards telecast.
That's true. The Billy Crystal shows. So I share
Outstanding-
them with Billy. And some other
Outstanding
people.
variety
You
show.
look marvelous, right?
Marvelous.
Bruce has also been the recipient of a number of awards for his work in support of AIDS charities and the LGBTQ
Yeah.
rights charities. Me too.
Yeah. A lot of those. I know. Jewish charities, AIDS charities, gay charities. I have
Renal
I have
cancer.
a lovely shelf of Lucite awards. Because when you grow up Jewish, you learn a lot of people hate you. They're not going to help you. You got to do it yourself.
That's admirable.
And it's a mantra, I think, for the gay community as well. So what I can do, being in show business, is we can do these fundraisers, raise money to finance other things that move the community forward. So I was always available for that, and for that I got a wall of Lucite.
You've got the
nice.
You have the Los Angeles Shanty Award, Daniel P.
Oh, yeah?
Daniel P. Service Award, 1990. GLAD with
Yes.
the Stephen F. Kolzak Award in 1997.
Yeah,
My
way
God,
back.
the list goes on and on and on.
It's very nice.
Yes.
What was the most challenging story you had to write?
The most challenging story? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. What a good question that is, because I don't write a whole lot of stories. I mean, any kind of event where it's a serious cause and you have to bring somebody in who's funny, that's challenging. I don't know what the Oscars.
Anything memorable?
I mean, well, yeah, all 25 Oscar shows. I mean, that's kind of like.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, for what I do, the Oscar show is like the Super Bowl. I mean, it's live. It's watched all around the world.
Billions.
And if you fuck up, you live with it forever. I mean, Sally Field, you like me.
But you never did.
She monetized it. Oh, she sold it as a Visa commercial 20
That's
years
hilarious.
later.
Oh, wow.
She's a good girl. Good on you, Sal. But it's the kind of thing that you could say on a show like this, which, now everything is magnified by social media, which I call keyboard warfare.
Yes.
It's all, but back then it was you'd have to screw up on the Oscars for it to live with you. But you're doing that show and it's live in the moment, and it's a challenge. It's also a challenge, as anybody who's ever watched the Oscars can tell you. There's a lot of stuff that you don't really care about, and certainly. The majority of the audience doesn't really care who gets the art direction award,
Right.
or the sound effects editing
Well,
award. So you
yeah.
have to have movie stars who they do care about presenting these things, and they have
And
to
the
have
dresses.
and dresses, and they have to have something to say. So that's a challenge.
And Maria's going to ask you some questions.
Oh,
Okay. So, Bruce, you're here with the very first world's first supermodel.
yes.
And
Yes,
I
she is,
hear
yeah.
that you kind of had a little bit of modeling career. Can you share that
I
with
was
us?
I was a child model.
Oh,
I was a child model. I was for Lane Bryant. Now, Lane Bryant, I don't think they're around anymore, but they were a store for
they did bras.
what?
Didn't they do bras?
They
that
did.
too.
They did plus size women.
Oh, my God.
That was the thing. Before it was called plus size women. Basically, it was for fat ladies.
That's what they said.
Yeah,
You
it was
can't
that.
say fat.
There was one little store in Beverly Hills called the Forgotten Woman. That was the fat lady store. And then Lane Bryant was where large ladies went and got. But good stuff. It wasn't
Nice,
like
yes.
cheesy stuff. It was good stuff. And they
you buy a
decided
couple dresses?
that they were going to have a children's line because they, I guess, had run out of fat ladies and they were looking for fat children. So I was a charming chub.
Oh, I
Sure, I mean,
Yeah, and
sure.
pictured next to Carol Lindley, who was this beautiful
Beautiful blonde.
And the idea was, your fat Jewish kid could land this if he only wore clothes from Lane Bryant. And
love
it didn't last too long.
funny.
My career didn't last too long. I became a stylish stout, which was the next category, and then I became a husky.
I love that.
That's neither man nor boy. So
Husky.
it's the no man's land of fashion. the
But you've
husky.
lost all the weight.
I lost a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight. I did Hairspray on Broadway and on the road for 2 years.
Love that.
And I was doing 8 shows a week. And I was wearing a fat suit and heavy dresses
my
and stuff
word.
and high heels. And so afterwards, anything I would eat, I would burn off.
Because of the stage,
So
right?
yeah, then the show closed and I went home and I continued eating as if I was burning it off.
You were,
It
And
becomes
suddenly
an
I was
obsession.
gigantic.
you're still
Yeah.
playing Edna Turnblad.
I'm so Edna
How
Turnblad.
was that?
And so I lost 100 pounds as a result. after
I'm a
that.
big Broadway fan, and
Yeah.
knowing that you worked with John Waters, I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
mind blown, right? I love him.
I love him
Oh,
too.
he's fabulous.
And how was that? Was that your first time on Broadway?
It was my first time acting on Broadway. Yeah, I mean, I'd written a bunch of stuff that was on Broadway, but yeah, and it was. I would do it again in a minute. It was my favorite moment. It pushed an OCD button I didn't think I had. Where
Oh, my God.
because you have to go out every night and do the same
But
show.
the bravest people in the world are Broadway actors or
agree.
comedians.
Because you have to create it every night and not let it go stale, and also not lose yourself in coming up with new stuff. I mean, it's a real discipline. But that show made it relatively easy because the moment you hear the audience, they've come to party.
Yes, they
And the whole show is so up. I said I have renewed respect for Vanessa Redgrave. 'Cause,
Wow.
well, she plays Medea, right? And she has to kill her children and drag the corpses around the stage 8 times a week. This is not a lighthearted task, and I understand why she might be just a little bit crazy.
I love that.
She's a beauty.
So, can you share with us, how did you break into the business of what you're doing? How did you
Well,
get into
I was a child actor.
Child actor.
My parents recognized that I loved performing,
Were
so
you
they
mischievous?
enabled me.
Were you mischievous?
Not really, no. I think I was a pretty orderly kid.
Oh, okay.
But I got to work it out on stage, and I did. Yeah, I did a couple of the commercials which we can't find, and a couple of other things. But I was basically like a child actor. I was never a child star, or we'd be having this conversation in rehab. But they don't do well.
I did the show.
Janice mentioned
There's the whole houseload of them out in Malibu. They don't do well.
do
They
well.
don't do well.
Janice mentioned a slew of actors you've worked with. Can you share with
Yeah.
us who was probably one of your favorites and a reason why?
You mean to work with on stage?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well,
Robin Williams.
yeah. Well, Robin, I worked with as a writer. I mean, we never actually performed, but yeah, Robin was great. They made a movie about me 20 years ago called Get Bruce,
My God.
produced by Harvey Weinstein, who, by the way, never laid a hand on me.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Hashtag Why not me?
Why not me? Why not
But
me?
it was Bet and Whoopi and Robin and Billy Crystal, Nathan Lane, a whole bunch
you
of people
have a
I'd
blast?
worked with. It was great doing it. Yeah, it was fabulous doing it. But so working with Robin was he said I would just write material and throw it into the cage, and then he would.
He's so quick.
Well, he's very quick, but he would work out a lot. He would go to the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, Improv, and he would do stuff every night when he wasn't shooting a movie.
Keep his chops up.
Yeah, and he would start with the material, and then he would embroider every night because that was his gift. And so what you would finally see with the result of all that, people would say to me, he's so spontaneous, and I would say, yes, he is the first time. But I mean, he had.
He's
that
like John
cer-
Lovitz. He get repetitious.
Well, no, but he knew what he was up to, and he had the same kind of discipline that he would have if he were in a Broadway show, because he had to go out and do that material which felt spontaneous that he had worked on. Now, he did most of his work in his lab, which was the stage of whatever theater he was in.
So brave.
There was always new stuff from
I
him.
love that. And
But he was brilliant, and he knew what he was up to.
you worked and you wrote for the Oscars for many, many years.
Yeah.
Can you share with us who might have been like the worst host?
Yeah, the
That you-
worst.
You don't have to say the name if you don't
Say
want
the
to.
name.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that the combination of Anne Hathaway and James Franco
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
just was not exactly.
Agreed.
It wasn't a margarita, you know. It was kind of like a poison pill.
More-
It
poor
was a
Ricky
bad
Gervais.
idea, and there was no chemistry, and Anne's a precision instrument. She came and she had lots of costume changes, but she knew her stuff and all that, and Franco was kind of doing it on a lark. He was nominated that year for this movie called 27 Hours, where
was
I
a
think
good
he
movie.
chews his arm off to get out of
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
So he knew he wasn't going to win. He knew it was going to be Colin Firth's year to win for the stuttering King of England, and and so he just thought. They said to him, "How about hosting?" Because they were looking for some young movie star, and he said, "Okay," because he figured it'd be more fun to do that than to sit there and lose.
Yes.
And so that was his idea. It wasn't a great idea, but then he didn't have the skill set for it, so it was tough on the way. And when they combined him with Anne, it was another level of mishigas added to the
Yeah.
thing. So that was probably the low point.
It was agony.
And I felt bad because they're both brilliant people, and they're both.
You're
I ran into him, and he came over to me at a restaurant and apologized. And I said, "For what? I mean, it's 10 years ago already,
That's
so."
right. It's a figment of our imagination.
Well, he's in a program.
And who would you
Exactly.
say was the best to work with?
Who the
And
best?
then-
Well, I mean, I did 8 shows with Billy, who's phenomenal, and
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal, and 4 shows with Whoopi, and
Whoopi
and
Goldberg.
they're good friends, and I've done a lot with Whoopi, and my personal favorite, just objectively, was Steve Martin, because he's such an oddball.
He is.
And his point of view is just so weird.
It's bizarre.
And he's a big movie star, and he
Yes.
can come out and make these observations, and nobody is upset by him. And he's nobody else does quite what he does. Now, he's not a full service performer like Billy, where we would do a medley and a production number, and we had the movies. We inserted him into the clips of the movies, and that was a big 20-minute section. that
You
we
are a
did.
great guest.
Or have you fun?
You
I will
really
go
are.
on forever, but
He's really good.
Have you ever heard Steve Martin plays banjo?
Everybody
did I
has.
ever?
I mean, have you
So,
seen him in
okay, so
concert?
everyone
I've
has.
been
So
wanting
So there
to
was
see him
a
in
year he
concert.
was hosting. There was a picture called Chocolat,
Oh,
Chocolate.
and Chocolat, and there was a beautiful song nominated for best song, and we had Yo-Yo Ma, the cellist.
yes,
Yes.
the
Because
cellist.
it was a cello solo in the movie, and so he was going to do it. And I said to Steve, "Wouldn't it be funny if you went out there with the banjo, and you did a kind of a riff on the thing, and made it into a kind of comedy bit, which would have been very Yo-Yo Moms. I think would have had a good time,
I think I slept with him.
And of course, we decided it was too much, and we were standing in the wings watching it. And Steve looks at me, and it's so beautiful. It's just, and everybody in the wings is silent. It's just so gorgeous. And Steve looks at me and said, "And you wanted me to fuck this up with a banjo?"
I still wanted to see it, right? We'd still love to see that.
Oh,
Hot topics.
Oh, we're
hot
going to get
topics.
some hot topics. Okay.
okay.
So
There's a lot. What about
there's
P. Diddy?
a lot about, what
Let's
about
start
P.
with
Diddy?
P. Diddy.
Oh my gosh.
And his underground tunnels coming out.
Another one who never laid a hand on me.
I
No.
know.
What's wrong with me?
It must be your pheromones.
I don't know. I think,
Have you been to a P. Diddy party?
no. Never.
Me neither.
I met him once on the Tony Awards. I wrote the Tonys, and he was on Broadway doing A Raisin in the Sun, which was a big hit. It was a sellout. It was,
Yawn.
and he was very good in it. I was kind of amazed. Kenny Leon's production. Felicia Rashad played his mother.
I love her. Wow.
And it was really good. He was good, and I don't think they nominated him, but he came and presented anyway, and which I thought was very classy.
Yes.
I think he was with Jennifer Lopez at the time.
J-Lo.
Oh, J-Lo.
J-Lo.
That's
J-Lo
Not to
had,
be confused
and that
with J-Law.
dress, that Johnny Versace
Yes,
dress, which
famous.
he hopped off the back of his moped.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
That green dress,
Because I seem to
right?
remember she was there too, and she had no connection to the Tonys, but she was there. And he couldn't have been nicer. But I didn't see him.
Oh, I saw him once at Barney's, and he wasn't nice to me at
Really?
all.
Oh, well.
What happened at
wasn't.
Barney's?
He said to me, "I know you want to fuck me,"
Oh,
and I
wow.
was like, "No, I do not. No,
Uh-huh.
no.
You like take a
Thank
number.
you. Bye. Go buy a tie."
If he'd said that to me, I would have said, right on. And,
I love that.
I got a room upstairs in Radio City.
Let's go in the dressing room.
So let's see what's going on. Oh my goodness! Has anybody watched the Lyle and Menendez story on Netflix?
I have.
No, I haven't.
You
because
have to watch it.
I lived through it, and I just don't. I mean, I watched. I did watch. I watched it for Nathan because, and he was Nick Dunn. I thought he didn't look exactly like him, but he played him exactly as I remember Nick Dunn. And now I want to go back and watch episode 5, which I hear is a Cooper Koch. It's a 35-minute one take
Oh my goodness!
of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is he doing in it? Okay, I saw the whole thing, but I can't remember.
I don't remember confessing or not confessing or something, but it's all I think testimony, but his reactions to everything that's being said.
But isn't it coming back to trial? They found a letter that
Now the
Lyle
DA,
wrote.
it helped nudge them into reopening the case
Reopen the
finally.
case.
I'm sure. I mean, I think that they couldn't ignore this kind of publicity, especially because these the child abuse
Terrible.
things, which Nick Dunn said was all bullshit. But Nick,
He said it was bullshit.
At the time, he wrote in Vanity Fair, "It's all bullshit." It's this Hail Mary defense.
I believe
now
I believe
much
there
more
was.
is coming out, but could be because
and evidence that's actually now submissible as it wasn't before.
that's exactly right. There you go.
So, do you think they're going to have a fair trial this time now?
Who knows? I mean, that if they get one, it's kind
Should
of
they
pretty
go free?
amazing.
Should they?
I have no idea. I mean, they killed them, so
They killed them.
They killed them, but they've done
the
20
brothers,
years,
the
right?
brothers, should they go
Like
free from prison?
20 or 30 years, something crazy like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're.
Would you want them walking around the neighborhood?
I think by now I'd like to think that they're been rehabbed a little bit, and maybe they're very sorry for what they've done.
I'd like to have them on the show.
I'd like to hear. I'd like to see them on trial and plea, and with this new evidence, and see
Right.
what it's really going to go down. I'm watching the Netflix series. I've only seen 2 episodes.
Uh-huh.
It was really hard to watch because you see that and you're just like, they're evil. I don't care what
Yeah.
happened to me. I don't think I could kill my parents the way
Well,
they
the
killed
father
them.
was molesting them since age 5.
But 12-gauge guns and blowing them up with giant
Father
holes.
was molesting them since age 5.
Yeah,
My father was a pedophile.
I agree, but I don't think you would have never have done that.
Oh, I would have. I would have. I certainly would. I would kill any pedophile.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have a 12-gauge gun because that was just horrific. But
I love that when Kamala Harris said, "I've got a Glock." She came out and admitted she has a Glock.
I'm totally fine with people.
Do you have guns?
We have guns. Yes.
You have guns? What do you
Yes,
have?
we have. We just have like a 12. Nothing crazy.
Listen to her, she must be in the club.
I'm sorry, not 12. A 22. Sorry, a 22. Just nothing that's going to really hurt anybody. But
A 12-gauge shotgun.
no, not a 12-gauge. 22.
22.
Yeah, that's just a
You
simple
don't have
little.
You don't have those militia.
No.
That's what I want.
I have a flamethrower,
You have a flamethrower? There you go.
but I have very good aim.
I love that. That's all you need. That's
so
all
I think
you need.
he'll fry, and then nothing else in the house will be disturbed.
You're
Love
so
it.
clever.
So they have this thing going on called the sleep divorce. Have you heard about the sleep
which?
divorce?
I'm already in it.
The sleep divorce.
The sleep.
So allegedly, 1 out of 5 couples sleep in separate beds.
I'll admit to that. I'll admit my husband snores.
I'm not surprised. I slept with somebody last night who kept punching me and didn't realize it.
You didn't realize it?
No, he was set fast asleep. He would just, he would, in his sleep, he was punching up the pillow. He thought I was the pillow. Seriously.
Aw.
You're like,
Poor
those
Bruce.
I
aren't
know.
pillows.
But I get it. My parents, after a certain point, I remember when they got separate beds because, if they wanted to fool around, one would climb it. They didn't need much more than a single bed to do that in.
That's true.
So
Standing up.
the way they did it, I'm guessing. The way I did it, you would probably need, the Queen Mary.
I need knee pads.
But no, I get it. I mean, at a certain point, you just want to sleep.
This is
You
true.
know, you compartmentalize. The kind of hot romance has
In the
dissipated.
beginning, it's always, you know, you want to be in the arms of the person, and that gets old fast.
I have to
Especially
have
if they
separate
snore.
bedrooms. You know, like the Queen of England.
Like
you know.
separate bathrooms too, right? A
Well,
lot of
that's
marriages have
essential,
that.
I want that.
I want
I
that
think
too.
that's the, you know, I mean, I've always known people who the minute they had money, they got a place that had a double bathroom or double sink
Double
bathroom.
sinks
They
is
start with
probably
double
good.
sinks.
I have that.
And then it moves to separate bathrooms.
See, I
How
believe
about
in
separate
that.
houses?
separate everything. Just
Well,
call me when you want to come over.
There are those two. I have to confess, I know a couple of those.
I love it. So, because Janice here is our famous supermodel, we'd love to
Yes.
share with you some of our Paris Fashion Week
We must.
fashions that
I
came
haven't.
out.
I haven't been keeping up.
I love it.
I you know, I don't.
I wish
don't
I had
know
a runway in here, so I would make Bruce do the runway.
Would you like to see them with us?
Oh, I
Bruce?
would love to see.
Yes,
them.
let's
Just popped up.
funny.
I love it. Here we go.
That's funny.
These are going to be
Consider
fun.
me
kids.
nuclear winter.
Oh my God.
All right, so we have
now
Chanel
I
here.
Not into it.
Unlike Anna, I have to take them off to actually see the gown. To see the dress.
I think it doesn't fit the model at all. She's got no waistline.
This is the sexiest nun I have ever seen. Look at
Sally
her.
Fields of the Flying Nun.
And what's she clutching? It looks like she's clutching an Oscar.
No, that's an ounce of Coke.
It's
Or
her.
is a microphone.
She's definitely going.
For
don't know.
sure,
I
it's a
don't know.
handbag.
It's a handbag.
Handbag.
Oh.
She's avoiding the sun and that.
Handbag.
Handbag.
I love
A
it.
purse. What's
It's
next?
some kind of purse.
Let's
It's
see
a-
what's on.
it's a
I would never
purse.
wear that.
See.
All right.
Who's
Okay.
the
Oh, Balenciaga.
I like her.
Balenciaga? I love that.
I like her eyewear.
You could use that.
This is kind of like a baked potato that didn't make it.
That's right. In the tinfoil.
Yeah. Although the blue is beautiful.
If I wore that,
that is, I think, the legendary Meryl Streep cerulean blue, isn't it? Is it not?
It's pretty shiny.
Yeah, it looks like that blue of which she spoke.
I hope
She's
she's
wearing boots.
I saw that. I wasn't sure about that,
that's
Janice.
way back. Remember Doc Martens when
They were-
Is that a Doc Marten?
You're
No,
like,
it's a brace. It's,
Alexander
This wouldn't suit anyone.
pocket dress to me.
Maybe
Remember
Katy
those?
Perry would wear it.
but what's interesting is you go right to the tits, right? I mean, the tits are what you look at because it's like a sculpture.
It's like a
Well, the-
clamshell.
So men
person
would
who did it-
like girls in this
Who did
dress.
the sculptures was Azzedine Elia did one for Grace Jones. And
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
This is not amazing, I guess we can
And
say.
she's got one boot that we can see.
One boot.
Maybe she's got a foot in a brace. Maybe she
That's
had-
hilarious.
Maybe she had a tragic runway
I
accident.
don't know. She looks pretty sad.
Oh,
Alexander McQueen
wow.
again.
Again.
This is a girl with a muff.
She knows how to hide. And what's up with the one shoe?
There's something going on there, right? On
Oh,
that leg?
is it the same girl?
Or is it a foot
pardon me,
brace?
The same model?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's hard to see what is under all of that. It looked like, she raided a mink farm or something.
This is not attractive. It serves her
And
in no way
Are
whatsoever.
those the heads of the animals dangling off of her arm?
Yes.
They are. So
Yeah.
it's like the old fox furs. Where
It's like a gorilla suit.
Yeah.
It'd be really hard to eat in that, wouldn't it?
Sorry,
I think she
Balenciaga.
could wear it once. It would get covered in red paint wherever she went. But she could wear it once.
Who makes this?
Duran Lantig.
Oh, there's a lot happening
If
here, isn't there?
I think
Well, I'd take the jacket off for one.
There's an executive above the waist, and below the waist there's somebody who couldn't decide.
Yeah, this is not my
It
fave.
looks like the skirt, like her slip fell down.
that's right.
And she's
That's-
trying
Long
to keep it
skirts
up.
are back in. They're back in fashion. Says
Which-
Anna.
says Anna. Okay, is that a long skirt or a short skirt?
Oh, skirts.
It's long skirt.
Is that all one piece? It would just
Time
different.
to play a game.
Yes.
Because that's her actual thigh, and then it looks like she has high stockings.
I don't know.
Never mind.
If you're watching this program, please send us what you think.
Your
Um,
thoughts would be welcome.
Gave Janice Dickinson a podcast. I'm not going to say the
I like it.
starting line.
Bruce,
Yeah.
we know you loved being on Hollywood Squares, and that was one of my
Yeah.
favorite shows, by the way.
Me too. My
And-
accountant agrees with you.
So I thought we
Yes, you must be
would.
rich.
I love that. I thought we'd play a little game. How's that?
Yes,
Janice, do you
yes.
want to play a game?
Yes, you bet.
Okay, this is effed up trivia game.
Ah.
All right.
I'm in.
Okay.
So the trivia will be a little bit of animals,
Ooh.
a little bit of celebrities, and a little bit of sex toys. Does that sound okay?
Sounds all
Bring
right.
on the
We're all ready to
doubleheader.
play?
Putting for celebrity animals and really talking. And this is. Oh wow!
And you've got some buzzards there.
I do.
And whoever hits the buzzard first
Okay.
gets to answer the question. Okay?
Oh well, all right.
All right. Who's ready?
Shoot.
All
Shoot,
right. Here we
Andrea.
go.
Hand in place.
What is Miley Cyrus's real first name? Is it Marty, Destiny, or Miley?
Miley.
I don't.
Did I do that wrong?
Destiny.
You were the first one to hit the buzzer.
You hit
Go ahead,
the
Gina.
I
button.
said
Go
Miley.
ahead.
It's Destiny.
Destiny.
Good for
We have the
you.
same birthday.
Yes.
Oh, you do.
November
I met her
23rd. And
several
I
times.
was the most famous living person born that day until she came along.
Until she came
And I've
along.
shared that with her, and now we celebrate birthdays on the phone.
I
She's
love
back.
that.
She's back on the charts with #1 songs alongside Dolly Parton. She's just really.
She's a great
Amazing.
singer. She
Yes.
really is a great
Very
singer.
talented.
Underrated. I mean, but she really is.
She's changed her appearance.
Yeah,
Love her.
Well, she got sober, and she went through her wrecking ball phase. And now, now
Oh my
she's
God, who
doing other
didn't?
stuff.
We're still going through that. All right. Okay. So cows produce 5% more milk when they are given what? Steroids, orgasms, names. Bruce.
Names.
You're right. Yes,
Oh
correct.
my God! You're two, I'm
Isn't
two
that
zero.
cute?
That's,
I don't know,
You're
and I don't
good.
know why that would do that, except
you've got a
that
sharp mind.
they have a sense of identity, I guess.
Oh, right, how
And so
cute.
Daisy.
they'll produce.
Yeah, if you like, Betsy, will you give me more
Yeah, right.
milk?
Got milk?
I love
guess.
that. Absolutely. All right, next question.
I'm gonna get
Who
one.
invented the electric chair? Is it a plumber, a dentist, or a politician?
Politician.
Wrong. Bruce,
I'll go for a dentist.
you are correct.
Yeah.
Damn, 3-0.
Well, because when
You
the
know-
root canal doesn't work, they just push the button,
And it just jiggles it out.
and it just exactly right. Lights up the
You're
mouth.
too much. You're too much.
Got a good
Guy's
visual.
happy.
That's so funny. This is great. Okay. So there was recently a dildo made in England called Buckingham Phallus. What was it shaped like? Was it shaped like A,
Tower of England.
Prince Harry?
Well,
Sorry.
That's okay. That's funny. You got excited. It was the name. King Charles or Queen Elizabeth?
the dildo is shaped like one of them.
Queen Elizabeth.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Bruce?
Correct, sorry. Queen Elizabeth's correct.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I was
Yay!
correct. Oh.
I got one.
I was going to go with Big Ben, but
I don't know why I kept thinking it was Prince Harry.
Tower of London. Tower of London.
Was wishful thinking on your
Or
part.
my mind's going somewhere else, huh? I wasn't thinking the Queen. Move.
I stopped using them when I melted my bunny. Actually melted in my hand.
That's funny. All right.
That's if the flamethrower doesn't work. I have a big dildo that I can knock the intruder
They
out
used to
with.
give them out in gift
I'll
baskets.
show you a home invasion.
There comes Queen Elizabeth. How
hilarious.
many vaginas do female kangaroos have? Is it 1, 2, or 3?
Probably 2.
Nope.
No,
Bruce?
one, I think.
Both wrong.
It's 3?
They have 3.
cunts.
3 vaginas and
Can
a
you
pouch.
imagine that?
Goodness.
That's insane.
That's a lot to check at the
Oh my
airport.
God! I want to invent something, and I want to run it by my fans. I want to invent the JD Pussy Patch. It's like a
kangaroos?
silicone. What hides the nipple with the silicone? I want to hide the vagina because every designer is doing transparent dresses. They all are. They wear the supermodels wear boxers,
Boxers?
or thongs.
Wow.
Do you think
I say
the-
take it all off. Go nude, Bella Hadid.
I thought
Go
it was-
nude.
I thought it was just Bianca Censori who wears all those things.
Do you think the kangaroos can use those?
3 of them.
They need them.
Who needs to look at those things?
Okay. Ooh, I have a true or false question. True or false? Elon Musk and Nick Cannon both have 12 children. Is this true or false? Bruce?
True.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can you believe
I was
that?
going to say true too. So
Okay.
Oh my goodness, they must be dating a
you're
kangaroo,
really
right?
good.
No, well, they fuck a lot. What can I tell you? They're just. Yeah, I mean, Nick Cannon's kind of legendary.
I mean, what is that? What,
And
supercharged sperm.
There's something, right? Whatever they're.
I saw a statistic that said between Elon Musk and Trump, they both have 17 children by 5 different wives, or something like that. 7 different wives.
Well, we were making up for China.
Exactly right.
Elon's making sure he's got smart kids or bringing smart kids into the world, right?
Did you see him on the
that.
platform with Trump the other day? He was hopping
I
up and
missed
down
it.
like the Energizer Bunny.
Well, now we know why he has
Well,
12 kids.
He was dodging the bullets.
He was
Okay, here's a celebrity question for you. What is Michael J. Fox's middle name? Is it John, Joseph, or Andrew?
John.
Nope.
No.
Bruce?
Andrew.
Ding ding, you're correct. That's
God,
right.
that's 6 to
don't know that.
nothing.
I didn't know. That's news to me, but
Why
that's pretty
6 to 1?
funny.
So is it Michael
one.
J. Andrew Fox? Is there a J?
No, I
still
think
involved?
maybe he put the J in. I don't know. We had the same lawyer for a while, so I'll
You-
have to ask him.
Yeah, I
a
do
tricky
like
one.
his movies so much.
Oh my God, he's the best, right? Oh, and
Yeah.
we have I think Back to the Future is coming on to the Pantages here.
The
There's a
musical, yeah,
musical
exactly.
that
Uh-huh.
should be really fun.
She knows.
I love it. I
She
love
knows her
it.
plays.
All right.
Brave guy.
Ooh, here's an interesting one. Do male butterflies have a penis? Yes or no? Janice. They. Nope.
I guess there must
I
be.
know. It's yes or no. So
Yes.
they do.
They
Is
do?
that insane?
I've never
Yeah.
seen one.
They're so tiny.
So, okay, this is how they get more butterflies. They start as moths, and then they cocoon and all that stuff. So,
I'm curious now.
was
I need to
wondering.
zoom in on one,
Right.
right?
right.
The last question.
Yes. What celebrity has a cat named Olivia Benson? Is it Ice-T, Simone Biles, or Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Did I get one right?
Oh, you got it
You
right.
did.
Because I'm a Swiftie. I love you,
course.
Taylor.
Yay. That's awesome.
Yay.
I love
but
it.
Bruce won.
I won. Well, what
Woo.
can I say?
And what
A
does Bruce
cesspool
get?
of information.
You're
That's
good.
what I am.
Bruce gets a lovely Janice Dickinson mug
There it is.
to
Here
add
it
to
is,
your
folks.
collection. Like
Turn
I
it
told you.
around.
What?
Now
Turn
you
it
could
around.
say the best part of waking up is Janice on your cup.
Oh my God! Thank you so much.
I think you just
Filled,
want to plug
filled with
the
vodka.
Well, talk to us about your book. What's
Yes.
the title of your book?
Well, I'll just do a little backstory on it.
Please.
During COVID, I was a guest on many podcasts that were all like Zooms, from people. And I had these people who were in their 20s and 30s asking me about these pieces of shit television shows that I wrote in the 70s. The Star Wars Holiday Special,
I was
the
gonna
Brady
mention
Bunch
that one.
Variety Hour, the Paul Lynde Halloween
You,
Special.
you were laughing all the way to the bank.
And they said their question. They discover them on YouTube, and they each one would say to me, "How did these happen? Who said yes to this?" And I thought, well, there's a book in this. So I've written a book about how I wrote the worst television specials of all time. It's called "It Seemed Like a Bad Idea at the Time,"
Oh, that's
I love
good.
that.
and it's
That's
on
good.
pre-order at Amazon now.
I'm
It
gonna
will
get one.
actually drop March 4th, but I had to extend it to Broadway and other places where I was involved in disasters, movies like Can't Stop the Music, things like that. So that's what the book is. The book is all about how these bad ideas actually came to haunt you and haunt me.
That's brilliant.
Congratulations.
Many,
I'm
many
dying
years
to read
later.
It. Well, we have talked enough.
All right.
I'm sure you're tired. And love you, Andrea.
Thank you, Bruce. This has been so
Thank you.
wonderful. We can't thank you
cool.
enough.
Oh, it's fun. Thank you.
Super fun. And
Vote.
Right.
Go out
do you
and
have
vote.
Instagram or any?
I do.
Your social medias?
WeGotBruce.com is the website that tells me what I'm doing. It's a fan-run site, and I go to see what I'm up to because they know more than I do.
I love that. That way,
But
our
that's-
listeners and followers can
Yeah, they can check
follow
me
you
out
that
on
way.
WeGotBruce.com.
And can your music be found?
This is for you guys.
Oh, you can
Probably.
find my music on social media, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
And don't forget to follow us all as well on social medias, on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, we both do a show on that too. Can't get rid of her. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye.
so much, Bruce.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Bye, fans.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. That was a great show.